fairy tales from far and wide. I'm going to read you a story, and when I tell you what the title is, you're going to say, oh, I've heard that one before, and it's Little Red Riding Hood. But I think you might find this is a slightly different version to the one that you've heard before, just a little bit. So let's find out. Little Red Riding Hood. Here is a tale about a sneaky old wolf and a little girl who didn't remember what her mother had told her about not talking to strangers. This little girl lived with her mother on the edge of a dark wood. Her granny had made her a warm cloak in a bright red flannel with a great big hood, and so everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother asked her to go and visit her granny, who lived in the middle of the dark wood. Little Red Riding Hood, Granny is not very well, and I'm sure it would cheer her up to have a visit from you, she said. I have made some soup for her and a nice pie. So Little Red Riding Hood put on her red cloak and took the basket down from the kitchen table. You must go straight to Granny without stopping. Keep to the path, and whatever you do, don't talk to any strangers. Do you promise me now? Asked her mother. Yes, mother, I promise, said Little Red Riding Hood, and off she set. It was a lovely day, and all the wildflowers looked so pretty. Oh, perhaps Granny would like some flowers to have by her bedside, thought Little Red Riding Hood. Well, she kept on seeing better and better ones just beyond her reach, and before she really knew it, she was in a part of the wood she had not seen before. She suddenly remembered her promise to her mother and turned round to go back, but then what a fright she had, for there, standing in the middle of the path, was the most enormous wolf. She gave a big scream, "Ah!" but the wolf just smiled at her. Hello, little girl, and where are you going to with that lovely bunch of flowers? The wolf smiled so nicely and looked so friendly and spoke so gently that Little Red Riding Hood completely forgot her promise not to talk to any strangers. Hello, Mr. Wolf. I'm going to visit my granny, who is not feeling very well today. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, said the wolf, who was not in the slightest bit sorry. He was just thinking how tasty that little girl would be, and perhaps the granny was at least another mouthful. He decided to run ahead to her granny's cottage. I must dash now, he said. I do hope you find your granny in better shape. In better shape than my tummy, he sniggered to himself as he loped off down the path. He soon found the cottage, and peering in through the window, he saw Little Red Riding Hood's granny lying there in bed. Quick as a flash, he opened the door and gobbled her up. Then he put on her nightcap and arranged himself in bed. He heard Little Red Riding Hood tap on the door. Hello, Granny. It's Little Red Riding Hood. Please may I come in? Of course, my dear, said the wolf in a creaky old voice as he could manage. Come in, come in. Little Red Riding Hood came in and held out her bunch of flowers. I picked these for you on my way here, Granny. The wolf held out a paw and grabbed the flowers. Why, Granny, what great big hands you have. All the better to hug you with, said the wolf, peering over the bedclothes. Why, Granny, what big eyes you have. All the better to see you with, said the wolf with a nice smile. Why, Granny, what great big teeth you have. All the better to eat you with, said the wolf, leaping out of bed, and in one great gulp he swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood. He felt very tired with his huge tummy full of Granny and Little Red Riding Hood, so he lay down on the bed and was soon fast asleep. But he slept so heavily that he began to snore. He snored louder and louder, and the plates began to rattle on the table. He snored even louder, and the windows began to shake. Now, a huntsman was passing by, and he heard the terrible snoring. He knew Little Red Riding Hood's granny lived there alone, and he just couldn't believe she was making such a noise. He peered in through one of the windows, and there was the wolf, still fast asleep. "Right, Mr. Wolf, I have been after you for a very long time. I bet you have swallowed the old lady whole, you greedy thing." The huntsman tiptoed into the bedroom, and with Granny's scissors he cut a great big slit in the wolf's fat tummy. Out popped Granny, and to his great surprise, out popped Little Red Riding Hood too. Before the wolf could wake up, Little Red Riding Hood filled his tummy with stones and sewed up the slit. With a snarl, the wolf awoke and tried to stand up, but he was so heavy that he dropped down dead. Well, you can imagine the rejoicing as everyone sat down for a good cup of tea. Little Red Riding Hood was always rather wary of wolves after that. And so she should have been. But I guess she should have followed Mum's instructions in the first place, shouldn't she? Okay, hope you liked that one. Good story, I think. So, hey, it's goodbye from Fairy Tales from Far and Wide, and goodbye from Mr. C. Take care of yourselves. Bye.